So the question that I'd love for you all to answer in terms of really selecting the right technology that we hear a lot at LawPay is like, I know I need something. There's a solution out there for me. So how can law firms really ensure that they're choosing that right legal tech solution that maybe is scalable and won't become obsolete, whether it's because their firm grows too big or technology advances and now it's out of date or something? Did any of you have any thoughts you can share on that?
I think, first of all, a platform that allows that you own your data is big. There are some case management systems where you don't necessarily own your data. In my case, I believe you own your data. Okay, that's big. But more importantly, that it plays well with others. So when I say that, either through Zapier or through API integration, where you can, or you have somebody that can make everything work together in the background. And that's where you get exponential growth with your systems. And that's where you get synergistic effect that no platform is going to have everything that you want. It's not going to be there unless you custom build it. Find something that gets most of your big pain points. And you may need to talk to an expert or to a company or somebody who knows how to find what your problems are, because it may not be what you really think it is.
I would add into that, one of the things I often talk to attorneys and their team members about is three pieces. First off, don't use what your friends use. Just because your friends use it doesn't mean that your brain works the same way that your friends do. And a lot of times I'll find a new client or someone will come to us for a strategy session for solutions at Practice Ready 2, and they'll say, well, I'm using this because Mary Sue uses it and it's the best thing ever, but I can't make it work for me. We have to find the solution that works for you, that gets it out of your brain, makes it actionable, delegatable, streamlined, efficient, those types of things. And then I usually say to everyone, especially those of you who are looking for a solution, use that free trial. Most of our tools have free trials, and that's intentional. You should be going through that time and actually blocking off time on your calendar to make it relevant for your practice. That's my number two biggest pain point. We can't jump into something if we don't know if it works and looks and feels the way that you want it to. And not just you, but especially your historic team members who help you generate your business, run your practice, help you with your client advocacy. But if your team members aren't on board, I'm preaching to the choir, we're going to see a lot of problems on that side. But then also the other thing I will say to you is I see a lot of folks who jump software because they're unhappy with where they are, but it's not necessarily the software's fault. And it's not your fault either, because you're busy practicing law, which is where you should be. But we want to make sure we're not jumping from one problem to another. We want to be really intentional about, for lack of a better statement, your forever software. And what do you want? How can we be in this space for the next 36 to 72 months? And then we evolve from there. That's where I'm always looking.
Yeah.
Audrey.
So I'll make my contribution quick.
Sure, go ahead.
When vetting a new technology, find your community. There's a law firm owners and managers group on Facebook. There's groups on LinkedIn, wherever your community is. And I know there's a bunch of listservs and things that the bars provide. Just ask the group, what are you guys using to solve this problem? And I'm sure many of them are already doing this. And in fact, I know they are already doing this. In my experience, the common players or the big players typically in the software world have the biggest dollars behind them, which means that typically they have the biggest support behind them, which typically means that they're iterating, features are coming out. When the community is complaining that a missing feature is there, they're developing the software in an appropriately modern tempo. What you want to avoid is being the anti-establishment person who goes with obscure one-off piece of software, because it's not going to have integrations, which Scott mentions. Integrations, but now that software is in the web, it makes your data immensely portable. So now with web-based software and APIs, things like Zapier and third-party integrations, your data is so portable and you can just leverage that data and really optimize your business. So go to your community, take a poll, see what people are using, leverage the free trials, get involved, think of the problems you're trying to solve, and to just test it on a number of softwares. The other thing too is, the software hoppers. I see a number of firms do that, and it comes at such a great cost to them. Rather than just building their practice around a product, as soon as they hit one roadblock or one challenge or something, they jump ship to another thing. And what a distraction that is. It's just a costly distraction. When you pick a practice management software solution, it's probably like a 10-year outlook practically.
So I think Eric's given us some good food for thought, but Audrey, something that you said actually ties us very well into our next section and our next step here, which is really talking about a transition plan. You mentioned, Audrey, resistance to change within the firm, maybe lack of knowledge about what the solutions are, what's actually out there, or perhaps integrations with existing systems. As Eric and Scott correctly mentioned, getting things to work together is bar none. So if you do have things perhaps that are already working for you, but you need something else, then you're looking for something that integrates those together.
There's also that aspect, and I think it filters into all four of these options, of when we've been burned before. Or tried to do something. And especially I find that happens a lot with change resistance with team members. The attorney has tried something before, or they've been in a different firm that they perceived did things better, perhaps, or worse, or about the same. So kind of filtering that in too.
Yeah, change is hard, right?